Hi everyone, I'm a little bit strapped for time this weekend because I am working. I have a work project launching on Monday, so I gotta do a little bit of work on Saturday and Sunday. So I thought it would make it a little bit easy on myself and film a tag video that is just question and answer. I have everything on my laptop here and I'm just gonna read through the list. I did find this on Christy's channel, so I will link her down below. The first one is, what are your nicknames and what do you prefer to be called? So my first name is Rochelle and I prefer to go by Shell. Now, people pick and choose what they want to call me. My old high school era friends still call me Rochelle because I didn't really pick up the nickname Shell until early 20s, but I definitely do prefer to be called Shell. What books are on your shelf begging to be read? This is kind of a sore spot for me. I have so many books on my shelf that I have bought in the past 7 years and never got around to. I used to be an enormous reader, getting through 2 to 3 a week. But since I started blogging and YouTube, I just don't have the time for it anymore. So those are sitting on my shelf unread and it kind of breaks my soul. But ones that I really want to get through right now are Harry Potter because I've never actually read the entire series. My husband got the full set for me 2 Christmases ago now and I'm halfway through, but I've yet to finish the entire series. The next question asks, how often do you doodle and what do you doodle? What do they look like? I only really do it in meetings at work, which is probably not that professional, but I basically draw tribal tattoos from the late 90s, early zeros. And I actually keep them. So I throw them in a scrapbook and that's what I draw. I've loved these shapes ever since I was mid-teens. I have a tattoo that is very similar to these, and I just really enjoy them. I've got a whole pile in an envelope here I still haven't stuck in the scrapbook. So that's what I doodle. What do I do if I can't sleep at night? Netflix, I guess. I have no fail-safe for how to fall asleep, so if I just can't sleep, I watch Netflix. Next one is, how many days could you last in solitary confinement and how would you do it? I don't know. I've never had to deal with it. I don't think I'd do very well because I like social interaction. Honestly, if I was stuck in a room by myself, I'd probably try to work out as much as possible to try to pass the time and get strong. That's all I can really think about. Do I save old greeting cards and letters or do I throw them away? I throw them away. I do not have space for all that clutter. It's just stuff I wouldn't reread anyway, so they're all gone. The next question is, who is the biggest pack rat you know? Kind of a weird one. I'm gonna rat somebody out if I say something. I can't think of anybody who keeps hordes and hordes of stuff. When making an entrance into a party, do you make your presence known? Do you slip in and look for someone you know, or do you sneak in quietly and find a safe spot to roost? Okay, so I'm a pretty loud person in general, so people are aware of my presence because I will say hi exuberantly and give them a hug and stuff like that. But I do try to hunt down the one person I know very well at a party so I can latch onto them. I'm very comfortable in social settings, provided I have somebody that I'm with that I am super close to or super comfortable with. So yeah, I'm loud and aggressive, but I still like my comfort friend, I guess you could say. The next question is, what is your strongest sense? And if you had to give one up, what would it be? I would probably give up scent. Yeah, I could live without scent. But my strongest is probably my eyesight because I have 20/10 vision. So I have really good vision during the day, but if you ask me to see colors at night, I actually go a little bit colorblind. It's really bizarre. In very low level lighting situations, people can see colors and I just see shades of gray. So my eyesight is phenomenal in daylight. So I guess that's my strongest sense. The next question's a little bit crappy for a beauty blogger, but it's, how many times a day do you look at yourself in the mirror? A lot, probably more than 20, maybe 30 times a day. I am constantly checking my makeup at work, but it's usually because I'm testing a product and I want to see if the lipstick has feathered or the foundation has creased or something like that. So I look at myself a ton, way more than the average person, but it's for a reason. Next question is, what is the strangest thing you believed as a child? And honestly, it's about probably bunnies laying eggs. That whole Easter mythos makes absolutely no sense. So probably that. What is one guilty pleasure you enjoy too much to give up? Drinking wine, I guess. I mean, it's not great for you, but it gives you that nice warm fuzzy feeling, but there's no way I'm giving that up. How often do I read the newspaper? Which paper and which sections? I don't at all, and I never have. Which animals scare you the most and why? On a scare factor, I mean anything that's like enormous is scary, but in general, for something that I really don't like, it's dogs. I do not like dogs. And I find it a little bit funny when I say that because people will always reassure me that I will like their dog. No, honey, no. If I don't like dogs, it does not mean that I'm going to like your pooch. And it's strange too because you don't see cat owners walking around saying, oh, but you love my cat, even though you don't like cats. My cat's my cat. I don't care if you like it or not. So there's a little bit of a weird competition there. I think it's strange that dog owners really care if you like their animal, whereas cat owners really couldn't care less. So in that sense, dogs scare me a little bit because I really don't like when they jump up on me or get around me or smell my crotch. Like that kind of scares me. So we'll stick with that. Am I more likely to avoid conflict or engage it head on? Head on. I almost never avoid it. And in fact, I will go like guns blazing into conflict. What was the most recent compliment you've received and savored? Probably something to do with my makeup last night. I was at a soccer event. We were having a draft night and I had some pretty dark and vampy makeup on with some false lashes and I got quite a few compliments. What is something about yourself that you hope you will change but probably never will? I'd like to like food less. I have a binging habit when it comes to eating tasty foods. I have almost no self-control. So I wish I could change that, but it comes and goes. Like sometimes I have a lot of control and it can last for like a month, but in general, I just like eat a lot of food. Are you a creature of habit? Explain. Not of habit particularly. I'm more a creature of scheduling. I like knowing exactly what I'm going to be doing and like, for example, videos that are going to be going up or posts that are going to be going up. I have everything scheduled on Google Calendar. But of habit, no, not really. Like I don't need to be doing the same thing every single weekend in order to feel comfortable. Like I can travel every weekend and feel perfectly at home with that. Am I high maintenance? Explain. I guess it depends on your definition of high maintenance. I can be a person that doesn't have to wear makeup, throw on clothing and head out the door. But if I'm gonna do my makeup, I'll spend like an hour to 2 hours on it. So I can be not high maintenance, but I can also be high maintenance. The next one is, when was the last time you pushed yourself to your physical limits? I work out a lot, so I'm constantly challenging my body in that respect. But the last time I really remember being really challenged because I almost passed out was during a 10K race on Toronto Island a few years ago. I pushed so hard that I got lightheaded and almost dizzy to the point where I thought I was going to like pass out. Now the reason I got that lightheaded is because I pushed so hard that my heart rate went through the roof. So I know how to control it, but I mean, sometimes you still want to push yourself harder. Do I have a whole lot of acquaintances or a few very close friends? Why? I have a lot of acquaintances, but I have also a few close friends as well. I'm friends with a lot of people, a lot of bloggers. We all kind of connect together. We chat randomly, but if I'm going to be talking to a few friends on a more intimate level, then there's a handful of people that I would talk to about personal stuff. Am I more inclined to build my own empire or unleash the potential of others? Build my own, I think. As with YouTube and a blog, I'd rather create my own thing and push that upon the world as opposed to like pushing somebody else to do something. What do you think about more than anything else? And originally I was gonna say makeup, but I actually think I focus more on how my body feels and how much I wish I lost a little bit more weight. And I know no one likes to admit that they're preoccupied with their weight, but I am. I think about it more than makeup, so quite a few times a day. So yeah, I would say that preoccupies my thoughts the most. The next question is, what's something that amazes you? A lot of things in life. We'll go with childbirth. Do you prefer that people shoot straight with their words or temper them, and why? I prefer somebody that just says exactly what they're thinking up front. I don't want something like being beat around the bush and then I find out the real answer later on. Just tell me what you're thinking. It's fine to be honest. Where is your favorite place to take an out-of-town guest? Probably this restaurant called 7 West in Toronto. They're open 24 hours, so you can go whenever you want, and I'm pretty sure they're open through the holidays as well. Great food, cute little atmosphere. There's 3 different levels, so if you don't like how many people are on one floor, you can go to the next one. And this one time, we saw a little raccoon come in on the balcony, and apparently he shows up every now and then to get food. And now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm pretty sure that restaurant is not gonna want me repeating that story, but I thought it was adorable because I love raccoons. So 7 West in Toronto, very, very adorable. What's one thing you'd rather pay someone to do than do yourself? I would say like the dishes or laundry and stuff like that, but I mean, I could hire a maid instead of doing it myself, but I'd rather keep my own money. So that's the only thing that kind of came to mind. Do you have a catchphrase? I tend to say fuck's sake or for fuck's sake a lot, probably more online than in person, but I guess that's my catchphrase. What's your reaction towards people who are outspoken about their beliefs? This is not a fun question to answer. I struggle with it. I think that it can be really difficult to listen to people who believe in religious stuff that I don't believe in. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that stuff should just be kept close to your chest, because I find it actually a little bit vulgar to see stuff about like Jesus and the Bible and all of that everywhere. It's really a huge turn off. I would rather somebody like keep their beliefs to themselves as opposed to trying to like shove it on somebody else. Like, believe what you want to believe, but don't expect others to follow you. The next question is, how and where do you prefer to study? Thankfully, I am not in school anymore and I don't have to deal with that, but I guess I used to just do it on like a desk or on my bed. What position do you sleep in? I sleep in pretty much every position. I tend to fall asleep on my stomach with like one arm up under my pillow and the other one on top, and then like my left leg is crooked up and my right leg is straight. And then sometimes I'll fall asleep on my back, and for whatever reason I've started sleeping like with my left arm up, and then I'll sleep on my side sometimes, every which way. What is my all-time favorite town or city and why? Probably New York City. I just never get bored of going there. I love the atmosphere. I love all the things that you can do. I realize it's not that exotic of a location, but it's one I've been to 10 plus times, maybe 15 plus times, and I just never get bored of it. What are the top 3 qualities that draw you to someone new? Honesty, personal appearance, because I don't like when people look like a mess, and genuineness, which kind of ties in with honesty. I like when someone doesn't feel fake. How has your birth order / characteristics of siblings affected you? Well, I'm the oldest child and I'm a take charge kind of person, so I think that kind of makes sense. My brother definitely had it a little bit more lax after I kind of paved the path, so that infuriated me for years. But I think I fit into the older sibling category for sure. If you could eliminate one weakness or limitation in your life, what would it be? Probably lack of self-control. Yeah, I consume too much of everything. Food, alcohol, makeup. If I like something, I just go like buy everything or eat everything. So I kind of wish I had more self-control. If you could restore one broken relationship, what would it be? Honestly, I don't think any of them. I can't think of any relationships that I have broken off with friends that I want back now. There's a reason why those friendships are defunct, and I don't want to be a part of that person's life or have them in my life. So I'm pretty comfortable with that, actually. If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to? So I used to use the nickname Nika online, Nika, and I would probably change it to that because I've used it since I was gonna say 14, but I think it might have been younger. I might have been about 12 years old. So everybody used to have a handle when we were younger. God, like 22 years ago now. So the online name Nika is what I used, and in fact some people still call me that if I met them first online. They'll still call me that in person, so that's what I would change my name to. Do you believe that ignorance is bliss? Why or why not? I do think it is bliss, but I do not think that it is the proper way to live your life. You can be happy being ignorant your entire life and not being aware of certain circumstances around you, but I don't think that's a good thing. What do you consider unforgivable? Broken promises. Have you forgiven yourself for past personal failures? Why or why not? I don't know, that's a really strongly worded question. The implication is that a failure means that you're ashamed of it. I failed exams and that sucked, but like, I don't have to like forgive myself for it. So I think it's okay to fail because the next time you just learn to do something differently or better and then you achieve it. Or you discover that you don't like doing that thing at all. Like maybe it's a sport or something. You're just like, that's not for me. The next question is, how difficult is it for you to forgive someone who refuses to apologize? I would say impossible. Do you hold any convictions that you would be willing to die for? Not really. I'm not a religious person, so I can't, that's what I associate convictions with. Like no, I guess. To what extent do you trust people? Explain. So I used to be fairly trustworthy of people. I would say like early teens or something like that. But then over time, for no reason at all, I just became really distrustful of new people. And it's not like people had lied to me and then, you know, I found out their inner truth later on. I just all of a sudden had a switch flipped on me and I was like, no, I need to take care of myself and I need to not just trust what people are saying right off the bat. And that's become especially true in the work world. I've had people lie to my face the first week that they've started and then I found out later that it was a lie, and like now I will never trust that person. So yeah, I can be pretty distrustful. In what area of your life are you immature? Maybe if I've got a bone to pick, I won't let it go. I guess that's immature. We'll go with that. What was the best news you ever received? I think it was probably when David got his permanent residency to live in Canada. That must be the best news, but I can't actually remember when we heard back or how. So we'll go with that one. He was allowed to stay in the country and that was a pretty good thing. How difficult is it for you to be honest even when your words may be hurtful or unpopular? It is not difficult to me at all. I know people really struggle with telling the truth, but for me, the truth sets me free, if you want to use that explanation or that saying. I feel so much better knowing that because I don't lie, I never have to be worried about a lie that I've told in the past, and I have to be worried about keeping that in the present and not screwing that up. So I pride myself on being honest to the extreme. When did you immediately click with someone you met? Why, and what was the long-term result? I click with a lot of people online, more so than I do in person. I find it much more difficult to see past the bullshit in person. So I tend to really get to know people online. So most of my significant relationships have been with people that I've met online. So all of those have really clicked. Now the one that clicked the most would be my husband, David. We met online through World of Warcraft and we really clicked, and that was pretty much instantaneous. So the long-term result is that we got married and he moved to Canada. And the very last question is, when do you find yourself singing? I don't sing very often because I don't have a very good voice. I wish I could sing. That is one of the things that I wish the most for talents that I could have. So I don't find myself singing very often, but more recently I was on a road trip with Julie and we were singing in the car, and that was okay. I felt comfortable. But in general, you won't find me singing very often at all. And in fact, I even hate singing Happy Birthday. Like, oh, talk about awkward. No. I'm the one smiling, holding a drink, being like, yeah. So awkward. All right, that's it for the 50 questions. Maybe you learned a little bit more about me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.